Chosen one, listen. Heaven is leaning in right now. This moment is not an accident, not a distraction, and not just another piece of content in your feed. This is a divine interruption. God is cutting through the noise, the weariness, the confusion in your mind to say one thing clearly to your spirit: I am smiling over you. You have walked through so much that made you question that. Silent battles, private tears, nights where you stared at the ceiling wondering if your life even matters, days where you poured out for others and went home empty, seasons where it felt like everyone else was being picked, promoted, celebrated, and you were overlooked, misunderstood, or simply invisible. But even when you felt unseen by people, you were never unseen by God. He watched you hold on when you could have let go. He saw you choose love when you had every reason to hate. He noticed when you tried again after failure, when you forgave without getting an apology, when you prayed in whispers because your heart was too tired to be loud. None of that was small to him. None of it was forgotten. There is a reason this message finds you now. Heaven is not frowning at you. Heaven is not bored with your struggle. Heaven is not shaking its head in disappointment. The Father is smiling because, against all odds, you are still here. You are still reaching for Him. You are still sensitive enough to His voice that when something told you, stop and listen, you listened. That alone is proof that you are chosen. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, and it is recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That is what God has been doing with you all along, even when you didn't recognize it. When you thought you were surviving on your own strength, His hand was under you. When anxiety tried to crush your chest, His peace kept you from breaking completely. When your mind went to dark places, His presence quietly pulled you back. You didn't just make it through by chance, you were upheld, carried, and protected in ways you still don't fully see. God's smile over you is not shallow emotion, it is a declaration. It says, fear does not win here. It says, what tried to break you will not define you. It says, I, the Lord your God, have already gone ahead of you. The battle you are worried about right now, the one in your mind, your family, your finances, your future, He is not pacing the floors of heaven stressed about it, not for 1 second, because from His perspective, through the finished work of Jesus, the outcome is already settled in your favor. You may still feel the pressure. You may still see the storm. You may still be standing in the middle of questions with no visible answers yet. But even there, right in the middle of the mess, God is looking at you with joy. His smile is not because everything around you is perfect. His smile is because He knows what He has placed inside you. He knows how this story ends. He knows that you will not be swallowed by what you are currently walking through. Your enemies expected you to lose your mind by now. Hell expected you to fold, to numb out, to run back to old chains and old habits. But something in you refused to fully bow. You bent, but you did not break. You cried, but you did not quit. That resistance to darkness is evidence of who you really are. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are not a mistake trying to fix itself. You are a chosen one moving through a battle that has already been won in the Spirit. Right now, Let this settle in your heart. God is not just tolerating you, He is delighting in you. His plans for you are not on hold because of your past. His calling over you is not cancelled because of your weaknesses. His smile is over your process, over your healing, over your growth, over your becoming. Every day that you choose not to give up, you are agreeing with heaven's verdict over your life. Even if you don't feel powerful yet, if this word is confirming what your spirit has been whispering, don't keep it silent. Like this message, share it with another soul who needs to be reminded that God is still smiling. And subscribe so you stay connected to what heaven is speaking over your life in this season. And as a prophetic act that you receive His smile and agree that the battle is already won, go to the comments and type this number, 777. You start to realize that the smile of God over you did not appear out of nowhere. It has been forming over years of misunderstood battles, over seasons where you thought you were only breaking, but in reality you were being built. The moments that embarrassed you, the failures that haunted you, the doors that slammed in your face, the friendships that collapsed without explanation. You looked at those scenes and thought, something must be wrong with me. Heaven looked at those same scenes and said, something powerful is being forged in you. There were times you asked, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I always have to be the strong one? Why do I carry more than others? You watched people with smoother stories, fewer scars, seemingly easier lives, and you wondered if God loved them more. You watched those who hurt you move on as if nothing happened, while you sat with shattered pieces in your lap, trying to make sense of why your heart seemed to bleed longer and deeper than most. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. Every rejection carved out a deeper capacity for compassion. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every lonely season stripped away illusions and forced you to confront who you are without applause, titles, or constant affirmation. It hurt. It felt unfair. But these misunderstood battles were chiseling you into a vessel that can carry the weight of the victory God already assigned to your life. According to what is revealed in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. You read that and think, how can I find joy in this? Heaven is not telling you to enjoy the pain. It is revealing that there is purpose in the process. Your trials are not random hits that leave you empty. Under God's hand, they become training grounds where endurance, depth, and authority are formed. What felt like chaos was actually construction. Think of the times you were misunderstood, when you tried to explain your heart and your words came out wrong, when your intentions were pure but your actions were misread, when you loved deeply and were labeled too much. Those moments made you question your worth, your voice, your sensitivity. But what if those very moments were revealing how set apart you are? You feel more because you carry more. You notice more because you are called to guard more. Your heart is tuned to frequencies others ignore because your assignment is not casual, it is eternal. Look back at the patterns. Every time you were close to a breakthrough, something intense would hit: confusion, conflict, sudden loss, unexpected delays. Those storms were not random. They were targeted pushes against your destiny, designed to wear you out right before the shift. Hell always attacks what heaven has anointed. The resistance against you is proof of the calling upon you. There were seasons you begged God, Please just take this away. Just make this stop. Just give me a normal life. But as you survived what you thought would crush you, something changed inside. Your prayers deepened. Your worship became honest instead of polished. Your dependence on God stopped being an idea and became survival. You learned to cling when you felt nothing. You learned to trust when your emotions were numb. You learned to stand when your legs were shaking. That was not weakness, that was warrior training. Misunderstood battles also revealed who truly walked with you. Some loved the version of you that always had answers, always gave, always smiled. But when you broke, when you needed, when you couldn't be strong for everyone, some disappeared. It hurt, but it purified your circle. Those who stayed when you had nothing to offer but truth and tears. Those who prayed instead of gossiping. Those who held you up when you couldn't hold yourself. God used them as living reminders that you are not alone. And yet, even when no one stayed, God did. When your phone was silent, heaven was not. When your mind replayed worst-case scenarios, the Spirit whispered, "Keep going." When your heart said, "I'm done," grace responded, "Not yet." You were being stretched, not destroyed, refined, not rejected. The fire you walked through did not burn away your identity, it burned away lies that tried to define you. Now, as you look back, something in you understands what your younger self could not. You see traces of purpose in past pain. You recognize that your sensitivity is a gift, not a problem. You realize that what others mocked in one season is what makes you powerful in this one. You carry empathy that reaches the wounded, authority that speaks to battles you've actually survived, and evidence that God can take what was meant to break you and turn it into the very proof that you are chosen. That is why He is smiling over you, not because your path was easy, but because you let Him meet you in every hard place, instead of letting darkness claim you. As you look back over your hardest seasons, something inside you starts to whisper, "There was more going on than I realized." The arguments that came out of nowhere, the sudden misunderstandings, the doors that should have opened but slammed shut, the way your energy would drain right before you stepped into something important. For so long, you blamed yourself, other people, or random bad luck. But chosen one, there was a hidden war behind it all. You were not just dealing with moods, coincidences, or complicated personalities. You were standing in the middle of a spiritual battlefield, often without knowing it. This is why some moments felt so intense, so unreasonable, so out of proportion. This is why attacks seem to hit you in waves, not just in one area of your life, but all at once: your mind, your health, your relationships, your finances. It was never about just today. It was always about your assignment, your future impact, your voice. Scripture says in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." That means the real battle was never just with people. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they betrayed you. Yes, they disappointed you. But behind the scenes, darker forces were pushing, whispering, stirring, trying to wear you out, confuse you, and convince you to give up on who God says you are. The enemy saw something in you that you did not yet see in yourself. He recognized the threat of your obedience, your anointing, your future testimony, and he tried to suffocate it early. Think about how the attacks always seem to come at strategic moments. Right when you started to pray more seriously, a distraction showed up. Right when you decided to walk away from a toxic habit, temptation got louder. Right when you felt a fresh fire to pursue God's purpose, a wave of discouragement or drama hit your life. That was not random. That was warfare. But here is what hell underestimated. Heaven was watching the entire time. God did not abandon you in those battles. He recorded them. Every tear, every choice you made to forgive instead of curse, every time you walked away instead of clapping back, every moment you wanted to run but stayed in position. Heaven kept the receipts. Nothing you endured went unnoticed. There were attacks you didn't even see, car accidents that didn't happen, traps that failed before they ever reached you, conversations where God shut someone's mouth before they could poison your name. You only saw a fraction of the war, but angels were moving around you, guarding, blocking, intercepting. You survived battles that you were never even fully aware of. And even in the battles you lost, those nights you gave in to fear. Those days you reacted in anger. Those moments you chose numbness over prayer. Grace met you. The enemy was hoping that one mistake, one fall, one dark season would disconnect you completely. But what he didn't calculate was the covenant over your life. You belong to a God who does not walk away when you fall. He reaches down, lifts you up, and strengthens you for the next round. That is why you are still here. If this had only been a natural fight, you would have quit already. But your spirit refused to die. Somewhere deep inside you, even when you were tired, something kept saying, "There has to be more than this." That was God's voice echoing under the noise of war, pulling you forward. Now, the veil is being pulled back. You are starting to discern patterns, to recognize that certain atmospheres drain you because they are spiritually toxic, that certain people are doors either for light or darkness, that certain thoughts don't come from you, they are arrows sent to pierce your peace. And with this awareness comes responsibility. You are not called to be a passive target. You are called to be an active warrior who understands that the battle is real, but the victory is already written. God's smile over you in this very moment is not naive. He has seen every attack. He has watched you walk through confusion you didn't deserve, pain you didn't choose, losses you didn't see coming. And yet, you did not completely fold. You might have crawled, you might have limped, you might have stumbled, but you did not surrender your spirit to the darkness that chased you. That is why heaven is proud. So now, as a declaration that you understand the war was real, but the victory is yours in Christ, I want you to go to the comments and write, "I choose victory." Type it as a prophetic stand. You are not agreeing with how you feel right now. You are agreeing with what heaven has already decided about you. Every time you say, "I choose victory," you are saying, "I refuse to let unseen battles steal my destiny. I know who fights for me, and I know how this story ends." Up until now, you've seen the battles, felt the pressure, and survived the war you didn't fully understand. But there is a deeper layer you need to grasp. The battle is not just going well for you in the spirit. It is already won, not because you are strong enough, smart enough, or perfect enough, but because of something that happened long before you were born on a hill, on a cross. In a moment that split history in two, you have been walking through life as if the outcome is still undecided. As if every new attack is a courtroom where your identity and destiny are being re-argued from scratch. That is why fear felt so loud, why guilt worked so hard to cling to you, why shame kept trying to drag up your past like fresh evidence. The enemy wanted you to believe that the case against you was still open, that your failures were stronger than God's promises, that your weaknesses could cancel your calling. But chosen one, there is something hell hoped you would never fully understand. The cross was not just a symbol of love, it was a legal victory. There, in the unseen courts of heaven, something permanent shifted. Every accusation that could rightfully stand against you was answered. Every charge that could have separated you from God was nailed, paid for, and silenced by the blood of Jesus. The ancient words recorded in the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 15, declare, having disarmed principalities and powers, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them in it. That means when Jesus hung on that cross, he wasn't losing, he was stripping your enemies of their weapons, the powers of darkness that tormented your bloodline, the curses that ran through your family, the sins that used to own you, the condemnation that stalked your conscience. He disarmed them. They may still shout, but they are shouting without legal authority. They may still throw darts, but they are doing it from a position of defeat. When he said, "It is finished," it wasn't poetry, it was a verdict. The price for your freedom, your forgiveness, your adoption into God's family was fully paid. The battle for your soul was decided there. What you are living out now is not a fight to see whether you will be accepted by God. It is the process of learning to walk in a victory that is already yours. Still, you often live as if the cross almost worked, but not quite. You look at your mistakes and think, maybe I ruined it. Maybe I went too far. Maybe I am the exception to grace. That is exactly what the enemy wants. He cannot undo what Jesus did, so he tries to blind you to it. He wants you bound by a war that's already been won. But the more you see the cross clearly, the less his lies can hold you. Every time you come before God feeling dirty, condemned, unworthy, heaven doesn't replay your sins. Heaven sees the blood. Heaven remembers that your debt is stamped, paid in full. Heaven remembers that your failures were nailed to that wood with Christ. When God looks at you through the lens of the cross, he doesn't see a lost cause. He sees someone purchased, redeemed, and covered. This is why God can smile over you even while you are still healing, still growing, still struggling with certain habits or thoughts. His smile is anchored in what Jesus already accomplished, not in your current level of perfection. You are not trying to earn a victory, you are awakening to one. The war you feel now, the temptations, the accusations, the old patterns that try to drag you back, that is the enemy fighting from a defeated position, hoping you never realize that all he has left are illusions and intimidation. He tries to make your past sound louder than the cross. He tries to make your feelings sound more final than God's word. But your feelings are not the judge. The cross is. When you start to really understand this, something shifts in the way you fight. You no longer pray as a desperate victim begging for scraps of mercy. You pray as a blood-bought child enforcing a finished victory. You no longer repent as someone crawling back to a God who almost gave up on you. You return to a Father who already made provision for every stumble and built restoration into the story. The cross explains why. Through everything you've been through, you are still reachable, still called, still chosen. It explains why the enemy could press you but not possess you. It explains why, despite all the reasons you could have turned away, something inside you keeps turning back toward God. That something is the pull of a victory that was signed with blood before you even took your first breath. So, as you stand in this revelation, understand the battle around you is real, but the outcome is not hanging in the balance. The smile of God over your life is not fragile. It is rooted in a triumph that cannot be reversed. What Jesus finished. No demon, no failure, no past, and no human opinion can undo. There is something happening over your life right now that you cannot see with your natural eyes. While you sit here trying to make sense of your story, heaven is having conversations about you. You imagine God distant, silent, maybe disappointed, but in the spirit. The reality is very different. The God who chose you is not whispering your name with embarrassment. He is speaking your name with honor. Yes, you with all your flaws, your past, your questions, your unfinished healing. Heaven has watched your journey up close. Every time you got back up when you had no strength. Every time you decided to forgive when bitterness would have been easier. Every time you walked away from what would have numbed your pain but poisoned your soul. Those moments were recorded as evidence of what kind of heart you carry. You often look at yourself and see delays, mistakes, and not enough. But heaven looks at you and sees endurance, repentance, and a heart that refuses to fully turn cold. There were days you felt like you had failed God, days your reactions, your anger, your weakness made you wonder if He was done with you. Yet somehow, you found yourself turning back again, whispering, "Lord, I still need you." That whisper echoed louder in heaven than you realize. There is a realm where your journey is not minimized or shrugged off. The silent nights where you wrestled. The mornings you got up and moved anyway when despair told you to stay in bed. The boundaries that cost you relationships. The apologies you gave that pride fought against. All of it stands as testimony that, despite everything, you fear God more than you fear people, and you desire His heart more than temporary comfort. The voice of God thundered in the book of Job. Chapter 1, verse 8. Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." That moment shows something profound when the enemy brings accusations. God does not join him. He does not stand over you listing every wrong decision you've ever made. Instead, He points to what His grace has produced in you. He sees the nights you almost walked away and the quiet moments you chose Him anyway. He sees how you could have let pain turn you cruel, but you kept your heart from becoming fully hard. Hell has studied your weaknesses, but heaven has studied your loyalty. Demons saw the nights you almost went back to your old chains. Angels saw the second you said, "No, I can't live like that anymore." Darkness heard your angry, confused prayers and hoped they meant you were done. But God heard your broken honesty and moved closer. The enemy hoped heartbreak would freeze your heart forever. God watched as, somehow, you stayed soft enough to trust again. You think of all the times you stumbled and feel unworthy. God thinks of all the times you got up and calls you His. He is not glorifying the chaos of your life. He is glorifying the power of His grace working in you. You are evidence that what He planted in your spirit is stronger than anything hell threw at your life. That is why He can look at you and smile while the enemy fumes, saying, "They should be gone by now. They should be bitter by now." Yet here you are still reaching, still hoping, still capable of worship. In the unseen, your name is spoken with hatred by darkness because your yes to God costs them ground. Your obedience disrupts their plans. Your prayers interfere with their schemes. Your very existence as a chosen one is warfare. You walk into rooms and do not even realize how your presence shifts atmospheres, how your quiet faith exposes lies, how your resilience reveals that darkness hasn't won. And in those same unseen realms, your name is spoken with honor by heaven. Angels are not assigned to you because you are weak and pitiful, but because you are purposeful and dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. God trusted you with battles that would crush an ordinary life, because there is a weight of glory on your journey you cannot yet see. If this is resonating in your spirit, I want to gently invite you, stay connected to this journey. Like this and share it with another warrior who needs to know heaven is backing them, not mocking them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so we can keep walking together as God continues to reveal who you are, battle by battle, victory by victory. This is not about numbers. It is about making sure this stream of truth keeps finding you right where the war tries to rage the loudest. Because whether you feel it or not, chosen one, there is a holy conversation happening about you even now. Heaven is not betting on your failure. Heaven is boasting in the work of grace inside you. That is why, in a realm you cannot yet see, God is smiling over you in front of both heaven and hell. There is a question that has followed you quietly for years. Why am I still here? You faced things that should have broken you, situations that should have ended your faith, your joy, even your desire to live. There were seasons where the pressure was so heavy that even you thought, if one more thing happens, I'm done. And yet, somehow, one more thing came, and you are still standing, maybe limping, maybe tired, but still here. You call it luck. You call it coincidence. You say, I just got through. But heaven calls it something else: mercy, assignment, and divine protection. You didn't just survive because you are strong. You survived because you are marked. Think back on the ambushes, the relationship that almost destroyed your self-worth, the moment you nearly made a choice that would have chained you for years, the habit that almost swallowed you whole. That night your thoughts went so dark you scared yourself. You remember being an inch away from disaster emotionally, spiritually, sometimes physically, and something happened. A call came, a message appeared, a random interruption, a sudden clarity in your mind. In the moment it felt natural. Looking back, you know it was not. There is a pattern every time hell thought, this is it. This will finish them. Something unseen stepped in. The plan glitched. The trap misfired. The timing shifted. The door you were about to walk through suddenly closed. And you were angry at first, until later. When you saw what was really behind it, you thought you were unlucky that it didn't work out. But now you see you were loved enough to be blocked. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. If fear had its full way over you, you would not be here. If madness had its full way, your mind would be gone. If hate had its full way, your heart would be hardened beyond repair. But God did not let those spirits own you. Even when you felt overwhelmed, there remained in you a strange, unexplainable soundness, a piece of you that could still think clearly enough to say, "No, something is off. I can't stay here." That was not you being strong. That was the Spirit of God guarding your mind in the middle of war. How many times did you almost go back to that place, that person, that habit, and something in you just couldn't? You tried to force yourself to enjoy what God was pulling you out of, and it no longer fit. The thrill was gone. The peace was gone. You felt a holy discomfort, like wearing clothes that used to fit but now choke you. That internal resistance is evidence that you are not like everyone else. You have been set apart. The ambushes against you were not random. You are a carrier of something: future freedom, future deliverance, future light for others. That is why the attacks came early and often. The enemy wanted to bury you before you ever realized who you are. He wanted your story to end in shame, addiction, bitterness, or quiet despair. But each time he built a trap, heaven inspected it, and if it would have taken you beyond the line of your calling, God intervened. Yes, you still felt pain. Yes, you still made mistakes. Yes, some things hit you hard. But notice this: they hit you. They wounded you. But they did not own you. They did not erase your ability to feel God, to cry out, to turn, to worship. You may have gone low, but you never belonged to the darkness that chased you. That line around your life, the one that says, "This far, no further," was drawn by God's hand. The secret reason you keep surviving is not that the attacks were small, but that the assignment on your life is great. You are still here because there are people tied to your yes. There are chains that will break when you finally step fully into who you are. There are atmospheres waiting to be shifted by your presence, prayers, and obedience. Your life is not being spared for nothing. It is being preserved for purpose. So when you look back at the close calls, the near misses, the times you almost lost yourself completely, don't just say, "I got lucky." Tell the truth: I was protected. Every failed ambush is proof that heaven has already decided you are too important to the story. God is writing to be taken out before your time. And if you recognize this, if something in you knows, "Yes, I should not even be alive or sane, but I am," then I want you to go to the comments and write this prophetic number 888. Write it as a declaration that you recognize new beginnings over your life, that the old ambushes did not win, and that you agree with heaven. You are still here for a reason, and you will not waste the protection you've been given. There were seasons where you looked around and wondered, why is everyone else moving, shining, being seen, and I feel invisible? Opportunities skipped over you. People you poured into walked away. Rooms you thought were for you suddenly closed. Invitations stopped coming. Your phone went quiet, and a cruel thought crept in: maybe I'm just not chosen after all. But in the spirit, something completely different was happening. You were not being discarded, you were being hidden. And when God hides you, it is never humiliation, it is honor. You have to understand exposure before healing is dangerous. Promotion without preparation is cruel. A crown placed on a wounded, unstable head does not feel like glory. It feels like pressure that crushes. God saw places in you that still needed mending, breaking, reshaping, not because you were a failure, but because you were chosen for something too heavy to carry with fragile bones. So he pulled you back. The invitations slowed. The friendships thinned. The spotlight moved. At first, you thought you were losing, but heaven was actually putting you in a secret place, away from eyes that would judge your process, away from hands that would mishandle your vulnerability, away from voices that would manipulate your hunger to be seen. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 5, "For in the day of trouble he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tent and set me high upon a rock." You read that and maybe pictured comfort. But hiding rarely feels comfortable. It feels like delay. It feels like rejection. It feels like being forgotten. You watched others step into things you knew you could do. You saw less faithful people, less pure hearts, get platforms and positions while you were stuck in what felt like a waiting room with no updates. You wrestled with jealousy, confusion, and even anger at God. But while you were questioning, God was operating. In the hidden place, he dealt with wounds that would have exploded under pressure. Old insecurities, childhood lies, traumas you never named, habits you excused because that's just how I cope. In public, you might have felt polished. In private, he knew you still bled. So he allowed isolation not to shame you, but to reach parts of you that busyness and applause would keep numb. In hidden seasons, you learn who you are without the crowd. You discover whether you really love God or just love being used by God. You find out if your identity was secretly attached to people's validation, or if it's anchored in being loved even when no one is watching. That's why those years felt so quiet. Heaven was asking you deep questions. If no one sees you, will you still obey if no one claps? Will you still serve if there's no stage? Will you still say yes? And you, imperfectly but sincerely, kept showing up. You prayed when no one was live streaming. You worshipped in rooms where nobody heard you. You encouraged others while you yourself felt empty. You chose integrity when cutting corners would have gotten you ahead. Heaven took note. Every hidden yes was building a history with God that is far more valuable than public recognition. What you didn't see was how much God was protecting you. Some of the rooms you were upset about missing were contaminated with pride, compromise, jealousy, mixture. Some of the connections you wished you had would have drained you, used you, or seduced you away from your assignment. Some of the big moments you envied would have become the very place where your unhealed places were exposed and mocked. So instead of answering your "let me in," God answered a deeper prayer you didn't remember praying: "Don't let me be destroyed." Now, you are beginning to notice a shift. You feel a quiet strength in areas that used to be fragile. Temptations that once easily hooked you don't grip you the same way. Opinions that once controlled you don't dictate your every move. Your relationship with God feels less like a performance and more like a covenant. That is the fruit of being hidden. When your crown comes, and it will not be sitting on a desperate, wounded head trying to use visibility to fill an internal void. It will rest on someone who has bled in private, healed in private, and chosen God in private. Someone who knows that the smile of God in the secret place is worth more than 1,000,000 likes in the open. So do not curse the years where you felt covered. Those were not wasted chapters, they were sacred. God hid you to honor you. He concealed you so that when you are revealed, you will not shatter. He shielded you so that when you carry the weight of what is coming, you will carry it with humility, purity, and unshakable identity. You have seen the battles. You have felt the hidden war. You have walked through seasons of being hidden, misunderstood, resisted. But now, heaven wants to show you something deeper when God smiles over you. It doesn't just comfort you, it breaks things. It disrupts patterns. It confronts curses that have stalked your bloodline for generations and says, "This ends here." Think about the phrases you heard growing up. No one in this family ever breaks out. Men in this family are all the same. Women in this family always suffer. We've always been like this. It runs in the family. Those words were not just casual sentences, they were agreements, declarations, chains. They tried to lock you into a script written long before you were born. You saw cycles repeat: divorce, addiction, poverty, anger, secrecy, sickness, mental torment. Maybe you watched your parents battle demons they never had language for. Maybe you saw relatives trapped in patterns they seemed powerless to escape. Pieces of you were shaped by those atmospheres. You picked up fears that weren't originally yours. You absorbed mindsets that made dysfunction feel normal. Part of you wondered if you were doomed to become the same. But something in you resisted, even when you didn't have theology for it. Something inside whispered, "There has to be more. This cannot be all there is." That resistance, that ache for something different, was not rebellion against your family. It was the mark of God on your life. You were born into a line, yes, but you were also sent into that line as a disruption. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 25. "The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you." When God's face shines on you, that is his smile, his favor, his attention, his delight. And when that light hits your life, darkness that has been comfortable for years starts to tremble. Patterns that everyone called normal begin to feel unbearable to you. What others tolerate, you cannot stomach. What others shrug off as just how we are, you feel as chains around your spirit. You are not cursed for feeling different. You are different because you are chosen to confront the curse. For a long time, you blamed yourself. You thought, "Why can't I just settle? Why can't I be okay with what everyone else accepts?" But the truth is, God's smile over you has made you incompatible with old bondage. You are like a key cut in a shape that doesn't fit the old lock anymore. You can stand in the same room as generational patterns, but you cannot fully belong to them. That is why certain behaviors break your heart instead of feeling harmless. That is why certain environments exhaust you faster. That is why you feel a heavy grief when you see people you love stuck in cycles you escaped. This is the weight of being the one God picked to shift the story. The enemy wanted you to believe that the family patterns were stronger than God's promises. He wanted you to think, "This is just who we are, and who I'll always be." But heaven has written something else over you. Where others carried shame, you are called to carry restoration. Where others carried secrecy, you are called to carry truth. Where others carried despair, you are called to carry hope that does not make sense on paper. God's smile doesn't ignore what runs in your family. It confronts it with grace. He doesn't look at you and say, "You're cursed. Too bad." He looks at you and says, "I will be gracious to you. I will place my light on you so strongly that it exposes what hurt your parents, your grandparents, your bloodline, not to despise them, but to heal what they couldn't. You are not better than those who came before you, but you are more aware. You carry revelation they didn't have. You have access to tools, truth, and encounters with God that some of them never knew were possible. And with revelation comes responsibility. You cannot pretend you don't see what you see. You cannot go back to sleep. As God smiles over you, some doors will close more firmly. You will feel Him saying, "No, not this relationship. No, not this habit. No, not this compromise." It may run in the family, but it does not run in you. At first, it feels like restriction, but it is actually protection, God refusing to let a cursed pattern live comfortably in someone He has blessed. Soon, people around you will begin to notice, you're not like the rest of us. They may mock, they may admire, they may misunderstand, but spiritually, what they are seeing is the evidence of a new line beginning with you. A line marked not by "we always fail," but by "God is faithful." A line marked not by "we never change," but by "we overcame." The smile of God over you is not just a feeling, it is a verdict in the Spirit that says, "This story turns here." Where the enemy wrote an ending of bondage, God is writing a chapter of breakthrough through your life. By now, you're starting to see it. You are not just fighting for yourself. Every quiet yes to God, every hidden act of obedience, every time you refuse to repeat what broke you, heaven is using it to rewrite the story of your family line. Your life is not an isolated sentence. It is a turning point in a generational paragraph. Think about how things used to go. Maybe in your family, anger always won. Maybe addiction always claimed another one. Maybe infidelity was normal, or lying was survival, or silence covered wounds that were never named. Children grew up inside pain and then became adults who passed that same pain forward, sometimes without even realizing it. That's how curses move through habits, through agreements, through what everyone calls normal. But then you came. You grew up inside the same atmosphere, felt the same pulls, heard the same words, and somehow you couldn't fully agree. Sin still tempted you. Patterns still tried to recruit you. Some of them even caught you for a while. But something in you stayed restless. What others surrendered to, you wrestled with. What others called acceptable, you called heavy. That was the mark of heaven on you, the sign that you were born as a breaker, not just a carrier. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 7, the righteous man walks in his integrity. Blessed are his children after him. Do you see it? God is not only thinking about you, He is thinking in generations. Your choices are not just about your current moment. Every time you love Him and choose His way, you are opening a door of blessing that can stretch far beyond your lifetime. Integrity doesn't just protect your own soul, it becomes a shield over those who come after you. Every time you forgive, instead of passing bitterness down, you are changing the spiritual DNA of your line. Every time you tell the truth instead of hiding like generations did, You are breaking an agreement with shame. Every time you put a boundary where your parents never could, you are closing a door the enemy used to walk through freely. Obedience looks small in the moment, but in the spirit, it echoes forward into people you haven't even met yet. You may never know the full impact of the decisions you're making right now. The night you deleted that number, the day you poured the bottle out, the moment you confessed what you'd hidden for years, the time you chose to get help instead of pretending you were fine. On the outside, it looked like one person making one choice. In the spirit, it was a line in the sand. This ends with me. The enemy hoped you would say, this is just who we are, and surrender. God empowered you to say, maybe that's who we were, but it's not who we will be. That shift is costly. Sometimes it makes you the misunderstood one, the strange one, the too intense one. You may be the first to go to therapy, the first to set boundaries, the first to call out sin for what it is, the first to say, no, I will not raise children in this atmosphere. That can be lonely, but heaven calls it leadership. You are the evidence that God's smile over your life is not just sentimental, it is strategic. He chose you to stand at the crossroads of your family history and take a different turn. Where others obeyed fear, you obey faith. Where others obeyed impulse, you obey the Spirit. Where others obeyed trauma, you obey truth. Every act of obedience is a seed. You may cry as you plant it, but future generations will eat the fruit. Some days you wonder if it's worth it. You see others living however they want, and you feel the cost of your yes. You feel the weight of swimming against the current. But heaven sees the long view. It sees children who will never have to heal from what you survived. It sees young people who will be raised under blessing instead of curses because you allowed God to start the cleanup with you. Right now, as a prophetic act that you agree with heaven's plan to rewrite your bloodline through your obedience, go to the comments and write, I break cycles. Write it not as a slogan, but as a declaration. You are not shaming your family. You are partnering with God to heal what hurt them. You are not pretending the past didn't happen. You are refusing to let it own the future. Every time you choose God's way when the old way calls your name, you are swinging a sword over your lineage. You are saying, the battle may have started before me, but it will not end with defeat. In my bloodline, through my obedience, the story changes. You've seen that the battle is real, and you've heard that the battle is already won. But now heaven is revealing something even more personal. You are not just a survivor of that victory, you are a carrier of it. You don't just walk out of war with scars, you walk out with a mantle. A mantle is a spiritual assignment, a covering, a weight of responsibility and authority that rests on you because of what you have walked through with God. This is why your life has never felt normal. You were never meant to just get saved and then blend in. You were never meant to just quietly exist, pay bills, and disappear. Every season you've survived, every demon you've resisted, every lie you've renounced has been forging something on your shoulders that you cannot see, but heaven recognizes. Hell recognizes it too. That's why some rooms feel like they react to you. That's why you can walk into a place and feel tension rise, or peace suddenly fall. You think you're just sensitive, but the truth is deeper. Your spirit carries the evidence of battles won, and the atmosphere responds. Darkness can tell when someone walks in wearing defeat, and it can also tell when someone walks in wearing victory. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 14, declare, "Now thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumph in Christ, and through us diffuses the fragrance of his knowledge in every place." That is what your life is meant to look like. Not perfection, not pretending you're never struggling, but walking as someone who is being led in triumph. You don't drag your story like a chain, you carry it like a banner. The same God who walked you through the fire now intends to walk through other people's fires, using you as one of his carriers. His victory has a fragrance, a spiritual scent. And when you step into places, that fragrance goes with you. Think about how many times you wanted someone to show up for you in your darkest moment. Someone to say, "I get it. I've been there. There's a way out." For some seasons, maybe you didn't have that. You learned the hard way with only God to hold on to. But what you didn't realize is that he was training you to become that kind of person for others. The comfort you begged for is the comfort you now carry. The clarity you cried for is the clarity you now release. Your mantle is tied to your story. If you overcame depression, you carry authority to speak life over those drowning in it. If you broke free from cycles of addiction, you carry a key in the spirit for those still locked inside. If you healed from rejection, you carry a healing word for the abandoned. What tried to kill you is connected to what you are called to set others free from. This is why your journey has felt so intense. Your victory is not private. It is a weapon God intends to use. You are called to be an atmosphere shifter in your family. You are not just the different one. You are the one God uses to introduce a new culture of love, honesty, and holiness. In your workplace, you are not just an employee, you are a carrier of peace in stressful rooms. Among your friends, you are not just the deep one, you are a carrier of truth when compromise feels easier. Everywhere you go, the mantle of victory on your life quietly says, "The kingdom of God is here too." This is why it matters that you keep going. When you feel like giving up, it's not just about you feeling tired. The enemy wants you to sit down because he knows that when you stand, others find courage to stand too. When you choose obedience, others feel strength they didn't know they had. When you raise your voice in testimony, chains begin to loosen on people who have never met you before, but feel something break as you speak. And if you feel that stirring in your spirit, if something in you knows, yes, I am called to carry more than my own survival, then I want to gently invite you to stay connected. Not for hype, not for numbers, but because carriers of victory need reminders, alignment, and consistent encouragement. Like this, so it stays in your feed. Share it with another chosen one who needs to remember they are more than their wounds. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so we can keep walking together as God continues to unpack your mantle and your mission, step by step. Because the truth is, chosen one, you are not just someone God rescued. You are someone God now sends. You move through life as living proof that the battle is won, and everywhere you go, that victory travels with you. There is a strange thing that happens when the season finally starts to shift in your favor. You've prayed for open doors. You've cried for breakthrough. You've declared promises and held on when nothing seemed to move. Then, slowly, almost quietly, doors begin to crack open, opportunities appear, relationships are restored, new spaces invite you in, and instead of pure joy, something else rises up inside you, fear. What if I mess this up? What if I'm not ready? What if they realize I'm not as strong, holy, gifted, or healed as they think? This is the moment where many chosen ones lose what they bled to receive, not because the enemy stole it, but because self-sabotage did. You've been so used to fighting to get here that you don't know how to live here. Survival became your identity. Struggle became your normal. Pain became your proof that you were still with God. Now that peace starts to enter. Now that favor starts to move. Part of you doesn't trust it. You start overthinking, over-apologizing, shrinking back, second-guessing everything God has already confirmed. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." You waited. You endured the tarried season. You stood when nothing made sense. Now the appointed time for certain visions has begun. The danger is no longer just the delay, it is your reaction to fulfillment. When the promise starts to speak, will you mute it with doubt? When the door opens, will you stand outside, rehearsing reasons you're unworthy, until it closes again? Self-sabotage rarely looks dramatic. It looks like procrastinating on the very thing you asked God for. It looks like downplaying your gifts when asked to step up. It looks like choosing people who don't honor you, because being truly seen feels too vulnerable. It looks like staying small so no one expects much from you, and then resenting that no one sees your value. But chosen one, you did not go through all that fire just to back away when the table is finally set. The God who walked with you in the valley is the same God who is now leading you into prepared places. He didn't bring you this far to watch you sabotage yourself with lies. He never spoke. New doors will always expose old narratives. Thoughts like, "I always ruin things. Good things never last for me. People always leave. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not spiritual enough." Those are not humble thoughts. They are accusations wearing the costume of humility. Real humility agrees with God's truth, not with hell's insults. Real humility says, "Without him, I can do nothing. But with him, I can do what he has called me to do." When God opens a door, he already factored in your weaknesses. He knows your history, your limitations, your learning curve. His invitation is not a vote of confidence in your flesh, it is a vote of confidence in his grace working in you. The open door is not proof that you are flawless, it is proof that he is faithful. So instead of asking, "Am I enough?" start asking, "Is he enough?" Because if the answer is yes, and it is, then you can walk through trembling, but still walk. You can say yes even when your voice shakes. You can show up praying under your breath. "Lord, be strong where I am weak. Think through my mind. Love through my heart. Move through my hands." You will be tempted in this season to go back to old versions of yourself every time something feels unfamiliar, to downplay what God has done in you so you don't intimidate people who preferred you broken, to apologize for healing, to shrink around those who liked you better when you were easier to control. That, too, is self-sabotage. The doors God is opening now are not just about opportunity, they are about identity. With every new space, he is saying, "This is who you really are in me. Walk like it." That doesn't mean arrogance. It means no longer calling yourself what your trauma called you. No longer agreeing with labels that came from past seasons. No longer holding on to shame as if it is more trustworthy than his forgiveness. You will make mistakes as you step into new things. You will have awkward moments. You will learn as you go. But the worst thing you could do is sit outside of what God is giving you because you are waiting to feel worthy first. Worthiness was settled at the cross. Readiness is formed as you walk. So as the doors swing open, refuse to sabotage what you suffered to receive. Let the smile of God over you be louder than the fear inside you. You are not an intruder in the places God brings you into. You are not a fraud holding stolen blessings. You are a chosen one. Finally walking in rooms that match the weight of who He has been shaping you to be all along. There is something you have quietly believed for a long time. I am behind. Behind in life. Behind in calling. Behind in healing. Behind in finances, relationships, opportunities. You look at your age, your circumstances, your past detours and delays, and a heaviness whispers, "You've missed it. You're late. You lost too much time to ever catch up." But heaven is speaking something radically different over you in this season, what you call lost time. God calls redeemable, what you call wasted years. He calls material for miracles. When God smiles over you, He does not just comfort you in your delay. He steps into your timeline with power to accelerate, restore, and rearrange what you thought was permanently broken. You need to understand that the God who chose you is not bound by human clocks and calendars. He is not intimidated by how long you were stuck, confused, or wandering. Your story does not scare Him. He is not pacing, saying, "If only they had listened earlier." No, He is the one who knows how to take what was stolen, slowed, or shattered and turn it into a stage for His faithfulness, as was spoken in the sacred text of the prophet Joel, recorded in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." Not moments, not days, years. That means entire seasons of your life that felt devoured by heartbreak, sin, distraction, or demonic attack are not beyond His reach. The years you spent in rooms you should have never been in, the years under the wrong voices, the years numbed out, checked out, or running in circles. Heaven does not write them off as useless. Heaven says, "I can restore even that." Divine restoration does not always mean God rewinds time, but it does mean He can pour into your present what you should have received back then. Wisdom you should have had in your 20s can be downloaded in your 30s or 40s. Stability you longed for as a child can be built in you as an adult. Opportunities you thought you missed completely can reappear in different form, with greater depth, because now you carry humility and discernment you did not have before. Acceleration is not hype. It is what happens when God breathes on your obedience after a long war. You may feel like you're moving slowly, but under His hand, things begin to align faster than they ever could by human effort alone. Doors you chased for years suddenly open without striving. Connections, resources, and ideas arrive out of nowhere because heaven has scheduled them for the appointed time. You will see in this season how God wastes nothing. That job you hated taught you skills you will now use for kingdom work. That relationship that broke you taught you to recognize red flags so you can protect the love God actually sends. Those lonely seasons where you only had God deepened your prayer life so that now When acceleration comes, you can handle visibility without losing your voice. But here is the key. Acceleration is not about rushing, it is about alignment. You are not being thrown forward carelessly. You are being positioned precisely. That's why you feel a holy seriousness inside you right now. You sense that casual living doesn't fit anymore. You feel drawn to clean up your habits, your environment, your focus, not because of pressure, but because your spirit knows God is about to move. And I want to be ready. In redeemed time, God can do in months what you couldn't do in years on your own. He can heal layers in you in one encounter that years of pretending never touched. He can shift your financial trajectory through one act of obedience. One idea, one open door. He can restore relationships you wrote off as dead, or bring new ones that feel like 10 years of growth in 1 year. And no, this doesn't mean you will never face resistance again. It means the weight of past delays will no longer define you. You will no longer introduce yourself to your own future as the one who is always late, always behind, always overlooked. You will begin to see yourself the way heaven does, as someone right on time for what you were created to carry. Even if your route was different than you expected, if your heart is whispering, "This is for me. I need God to redeem my time, my years, my story," then I want you to mark this moment. Go to the comments and write this number, 444. Write it as a prophetic agreement that you believe God can restore what was eaten, accelerate what was delayed, and align what felt scattered. Let that simple number be your way of saying, "Lord, I give you my years, every broken one, every silent one, every wasted one. Breathe on my timeline and use it for your glory. Because, chosen one, you are not behind. You are being synchronized with heaven's schedule. And under the smile of God, your next seasons will not just be about recovery, they will be about redeemed, accelerated purpose. One of the clearest signs that heaven has shifted your season is this: your relationships start to change. People drift. Conversations feel different. Some connections suddenly tighten, and others quietly unravel. It can feel confusing, even painful. If you don't see what God is doing underneath it all, for a long time, you prayed, "Lord, use me, align me with your will, take me deeper." What you didn't realize is that those prayers would also touch your circle. You cannot step into a new level carrying every old connection, not because you are better than anyone, but because not everyone is willing or able to walk where you are going. There are people who were perfect for your survival season, but are dangerous for your destiny season. Some could sit with you in your brokenness, but will not celebrate your wholeness. Others were comfortable with the weaker, more confused version of you, but feel threatened when you start to heal, grow, and set boundaries. God loves them, but He will not let their comfort cost you your calling. You've started to feel it. Jokes that once made you laugh now feel heavy. Conversations that used to excite you now drain you. Environments where you once felt at home now feel spiritually suffocating. That dissonance is not you acting brand new, it is your spirit outgrowing what your heart once settled for. Heaven is gently separating what can go with you from what cannot. There were also nearlies in your story, almost relationships, almost friendships, almost mentors that looked right on the surface. You thought, "This is it. This is my person, my circle, my tribe." Then, unexpectedly. Things fell apart. Masks slipped. Timing collapsed. Motives surfaced. You cried, "God, why did you let this end?" But from heaven's perspective, counterfeits were being exposed before they had the power to derail your purpose. Right in the middle of this relational shaking, heaven whispers a principle you must not ignore. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20, "He who walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." This is not about arrogance, it is about alignment. Who you consistently walk with shapes your mindset, your habits, and your future. You can love everyone, but you cannot link arms with everyone. Some relationships quietly agree with your bondage. Others agree with your breakthrough. God is rearranging your circle so that the people closest to you support what He is building, not what hell is trying to resurrect. Counterfeit connections often mirror what you prayed for, but lack the character, purity, or assignment to walk with you long term. They come with language that sounds spiritual, but hearts that are unsubmitted. They love your light as long as it benefits them. They draw from your oil but never point you back to God. Keeping them close feels like companionship, but it slowly drains your fire and distorts your discernment. At the same time, He is bringing new alignments. People who do not need you to shrink for them to feel secure. Voices who speak to the warrior in you, not just the wounded child in you. Friends who correct you without controlling you, who intercede for you instead of interrogating you, who recognize your crown without worshiping you or competing with you. These kinds of relationships may feel unfamiliar at first. You are used to connections built on trauma, obligation, and fear of abandonment. Healthy love can feel suspicious when you have only known performance and pain. Part of you waits for the betrayal, tests the love, or tries to sabotage what is actually sent by God. But heaven is saying, "Let me teach you what covenant feels like. Let me show you what safe people look like." This is also a season where God is asking you to be courageous in your choices. There are conversations you will need to have, boundaries you will need to set, patterns you will need to stop entertaining, not from pride, but from obedience. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can say is, "I love you, but I can't walk there with you anymore. I must follow what God is doing in me." You are not abandoning people by obeying God. You are refusing to abandon the assignment He placed on your life. You can pray for them, bless them, and still move in the direction heaven is calling you. Those who are truly meant to run with you will adjust to God's pace, or God will send others to walk with them. Their journey is not your job to control. As your relationships shift, remember this loss is not the only story being written. Every time a counterfeit connection falls away, space is created for true covenant. Every time an unhealthy tie is cut, clarity returns to your mind and strength returns to your spirit. Every time you choose God's alignment over emotional comfort, you step more fully into the identity He has been awakening in you all along. There is an area where many chosen ones secretly struggle. Even when their faith is strong and their prayer life is deep, money, provision, resources, you've learned to trust God with your soul, but trusting Him with your bank account, your career path, your daily needs, that has felt like a different kind of war. You've seen lack. Maybe you grew up watching bills pile up, watching dreams shrink to fit inside survival. Maybe you were told, people like us never get ahead. Or, as long as we have just enough, that's all we can expect. Those words sank into your mindset. Somewhere along the way, you started to believe that living paycheck to paycheck, dream to dream, but never stepping into overflow was just your portion. On the other side, you've also seen money misused. You've watched people chase wealth and lose themselves. You've seen greed wrap itself in religious language. You've seen manipulation and spiritualized pressure. Because of that, part of you is afraid of abundance. You think, if I ever have too much, will it change me? Will it make me like them? So you live in tension, afraid of lack, but also suspicious of increase. But hear this clearly, money is not your master. It is a tool, a servant, a resource that God intends to place into the hands of those who are aligned with His heart. You are not called to worship it or fear it, but to steward it. The enemy wants chosen ones broke, anxious, and distracted so that their energy is consumed by survival instead of assignment. Heaven, however, wants you resourced so that what God put in you can actually move into the world. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." This is the foundation. God is not against you having things, He is against things having you. When the kingdom is first, His will, His righteousness, His voice, then the things can be safely added. Provision becomes aligned with purpose. Money stops being an idol or a fear and becomes an instrument. You have a calling, and callings have costs. There are assignments that require travel, time, training, creativity, generosity. There are people you are meant to bless, projects you are meant to build, moments where you will be the one God uses to answer someone else's prayer for help. That is why He is shifting how you see money in this season, not as proof of your worth, but as fuel for your mission. For years, you may have felt guilty even wanting financial stability or abundance. You downplayed your needs. You called constant struggling humility. But there is nothing humble about being so stressed that you cannot think clearly about what God is asking you to do. There is nothing holy about cycles of debt that keep you distracted and afraid. Yes, God meets you in your lack, but He is also the one teaching your hands to build, your mind to create, your heart to steward. The smile of God over you includes wisdom. He is teaching you that stewardship starts with small things, how you handle what you have now. The little paycheck, the small opportunity, the quiet business idea, the tiny seed. When you treat small things as sacred, heaven sees you as trustworthy with more. Not because you are perfect, but because your heart posture says, "Lord, this is yours. Show me how to handle it." You're also being invited to break agreements with fear around money. Fear that says, "If I give, I'll never have enough." Fear that says, "If I step out in faith, I'll end up abandoned." Fear that says, "If I pursue what God really put in me, I'll go broke." These are not neutral thoughts. They are lies designed to keep you caged. Your provider is not your job, your client, your business, your relatives, or your talent. God may use all of those, but He is the source behind them. As you walk deeper into your calling, you will see God orchestrate resources in ways that don't make sense on paper. An unexpected opportunity that aligns perfectly with your gift. A connection that opens doors you could never have forced open. A strategy dropped into your spirit that multiplies what you already have. Not magic partnership. You listen. You obey. You move wisely. And heaven breathes on your steps. You are not called to worship money. And you are not called to run from it. You are called to stand in the middle. Eyes on God. Hands open. Heart anchored. Saying, whatever you place in my life, time, favor, finances, influence, I will steward it for your kingdom. That is when provision stops being a chain and becomes a channel. The battle over your resources has been fierce because your impact will be costly. But under the smile of God, you are learning not only to survive with little, but to steward much. And as you do, your life becomes a living sign that the one who won the battle for your soul also cares about the tools you need to fulfill your assignment on the earth. There is a pattern in your life that you may have noticed right before something big shifts. Everything seems to shake. Misunderstandings flare up. Old temptations resurface. Hidden attitudes rise to the surface. People you thought were secure suddenly wobble. It feels like chaos. Like you're losing ground right when you thought you were about to step forward. Chosen one. Heaven wants you to understand this before a public crowning. There is always a final sift, not to destroy you, but to refine you, not to shame you, but to make sure nothing hidden will explode when God lifts you higher. The enemy sees movement around your life and throws one more wave at you, one more distraction, one more offense, one more seductive shortcut. He hopes you'll take the bait, sabotage your own character, and step out of position right before the moment you've been prepared for. At the very same time, God allows certain pressures not to push you away, but to reveal what still needs His touch. In this place, you start to see things in yourself you don't like. Impatience, pride, old wounds that still bleed when touched, control, fear. You may be tempted to spiral into shame. If I were really called, I wouldn't still struggle with this. But heaven is not surprised by what is surfacing. God is not disgusted. He is delivering. What comes to light now is what He intends to heal now. So it won't sabotage you later. Right in the middle of this shaking, there is a sentence from Jesus that rests over your life like a covering. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22, verse 32, "But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers." Jesus said that after warning Peter that he would be sifted like wheat, the sift was real, but so was the prayer. And so was the assignment on the other side: strengthen your brothers. In the same way, your current refining does not mean God has changed His mind about you. It means He is securing you so that when you stand, you will be able to strengthen others without collapsing under the same pressure that once nearly broke you. You may also see people shift in this final sift. Some who were comfortable with you in hidden seasons may not be able to handle the weight of where you are going. Their reactions, their silence, their distance, it hurts. But this sift is merciful. Better to know now who can walk with you in the light than discover it at the height of your assignment when the cost is higher. God is not just crowning you, He is editing your audience. Your habits are being touched too. Things you could get away with before now feel heavy and wrong. Conversations you can't linger in anymore. content you can't consume without grieving your spirit. Small compromises that once seemed harmless now feel like cracks in your foundation. This isn't legalism, it's preparation. Your calling is weighty. Heaven loves you too much to let hairline fractures become future collapses. This is where you must be careful how you interpret your season. You are not going backwards, you are going deeper. You are not losing your anointing, you are having it purified. You are not being disqualified, you are being qualified in a way that can stand public testing. The fire around you now is not the fire of rejection, it is the fire that burns away what is not truly you. Yes, your emotions will be loud. You may feel tempted to quit, to isolate, to pull away from everything God has been building. Remember, Jesus has already prayed for your faith not to fail. Heaven is invested in your endurance. Angels are present in the sift just as much as they were in the secret war. The same God who kept you through your darkest valleys is keeping you now as He polishes your crown. If this word is reading your current season, if you feel that holy discomfort, that tension between who you were and who you are becoming, I want to gently invite you to stay connected. Let this message sit with you. Like it if it's confirming something deep. Share it with another chosen one who is in a sift and thinks they're being rejected, when actually they're being refined. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so we can keep walking together through this final stretch before your crowning, step by step, word by word, victory by victory. Then, as a prophetic act and a stand of agreement, go to the comments and write, "I choose my crown," not as a cute phrase, but as your declaration that you will not run from refinement, you will not sabotage your own promotion, and you will not hand your destiny back to the darkness you were called to overthrow. By now, you've walked through enough fire to know this being chosen is not just about moments. It's about lifestyle. It's not just about encounters. It's about habits. The battle is already won in the spirit. But you still live in a world where war is real, so heaven is teaching you how to live like a proven warrior every single day. You are not called to wake up each morning wondering who you are or where you stand. Your identity has been forged in storms, refined in sifts, sealed at the cross. Now your daily life becomes the place where that truth is practiced, not just preached. A proven warrior doesn't wait for crisis to connect with God. You've learned the hard way that if you only pray when you're desperate, you'll always live on the edge of collapse. So in this season, heaven is inviting you into steady rhythms, quiet moments where you choose Him before the noise, before the scrolling, before the rush. Maybe it's a few whispered sentences when you open your eyes. Maybe it's a set time in the Word. Maybe it's worship in the car. The form can vary, but the principle stands. You anchor your day in the presence, not in pressure. The Apostle reminds us in his first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 8, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." Sober, vigilant. That doesn't mean paranoid, it means aware. You don't move through your day naive anymore. You know your triggers. You know the doors the enemy likes to knock on: old shame, loneliness, comparison, exhaustion. A proven warrior doesn't ignore those places. You guard them. You learn to ask, is this thought from God, from my healed self, or from an old wound trying to speak again? And then you respond accordingly. Your lifestyle begins to reflect the victory you carry. You watch what you consume, not out of religious fear, but because you know what feeds you will form you. Content, conversations, environments, you notice how they affect your spirit. If something keeps stirring confusion, lust, jealousy, or numbness in you, you stop calling it harmless and start naming it a threat to your peace. Warriors don't train with poison. You also learn the rhythm of repentance, not as groveling, but as quick turning. You no longer let days pass with a hard heart. When the Holy Spirit taps your conscience, you respond. When you speak harshly, you apologize. When pride rises, you confess it. When an old pattern tries to reattach, you bring it into the light. This is how you keep your armor clean, not by pretending you never get hit, but by refusing to let the hits turn into strongholds. A proven warrior also honors the body they live in. You've discovered that constant exhaustion is not a badge of spirituality, it's a vulnerability. You start to treat rest as obedience, not laziness. You listen when your body says, breathe. You give yourself moments to be human, to grieve, to laugh, to be quiet, because you understand that burnout is one of the enemy's favorite gateways. Your relationships become part of your daily warfare strategy. You choose to stay connected to people who remind you of who you are in God when you forget. You let trusted voices speak correction into your life. You reject the lie that it's just me and God, when in reality, God designed you to be part of a body. Lone warriors are easier to take down. You've lived that. Now you value the shield wall, those who stand beside you in prayer, in honesty, in encouragement. Your words shift. 2. Complaining may still knock, but you don't give it the same room anymore. You start catching yourself mid-sentence and aligning your mouth with what God has said. Not fake positivity, but prophetic agreement, saying, "This is hard, but God is with me. I feel weak, but I know I'm not abandoned. I don't see the full picture, but I trust His character." Every sentence becomes a small battlefield, and you choose your side intentionally. Most importantly, you keep your heart soft. That is the mark of a proven warrior, not just armor on the outside, but tenderness on the inside. You ask God daily, "Don't let my victories make me proud. Don't let my battles make me bitter. Keep me humble. Keep me teachable. Keep me loving." You've seen what happens when people gain influence but lose compassion. You refuse that path. This daily lifestyle will not always feel glamorous. Some days it will feel like quiet repetition. Pray, forgive, guard your peace, show up, obey. But heaven sees every small choice as another step in the same direction. You, walking as someone who knows the battle is already won, yet chooses, day after day, to live in a way that honors the one who won it for you. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the story shifts from survival to assignment. From God, help me make it to God. Use my life. That is the moment you are standing in now. You have walked through valleys that should have ended you, fires that should have consumed you, wars that should have stolen your mind and your faith. And yet, here you are, still listening, still reaching, still tender toward God. Heaven calls this readiness. You are not just someone God rescued, you are someone God is commissioning. A commissioning is more than encouragement, it is ascending. It is the King placing His hand on your shoulder and saying, "I am with you. Go in the strength you have. What I have done in you, I will now do through you. Everything you have lived, every tear, every night, every breakthrough has been leading to this, a life that moves with the awareness that heaven is not against you, but profoundly, actively, joyfully for you. There is a sentence written in the Spirit over your path that you must carry like armor. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. This is your heritage, not perfection, not a painless life, not a path without battle. Your heritage is that no weapon formed against you ultimately succeeds. They can form, they can fly, they can graze, but they cannot win. Tongues will rise, opinions will swirl, judgments will be spoken, but in the end, heaven has given you the right to stand, to outlast, and to condemn the lie by simply continuing to walk in truth. From this day forward, you are commissioned to walk differently. When you enter a room, you do not enter as someone hoping not to be rejected. You enter as someone already accepted by God. His smile over you becomes your atmosphere. It covers your insecurity, quiets your anxiety, and disarms the silent accusations in your own mind. You don't have to announce it with your mouth. Your spirit carries it. Darkness recognizes when someone knows they are loved. You are being sent as a carrier of that love into places that still believe they are forgotten, homes that feel heavy, workplaces that feel cold, circles that feel cynical. You will not always have the perfect words, but you will have presence, and your presence, aligned with God's, will be enough. A glance of compassion, a sentence of truth, a prayer whispered after a conversation. These are not small. They are the movements of a commissioned one. God's smile is now your weapon against shame. When old memories rise up and try to disqualify you, you answer them not with arguments, but with identity. I am forgiven. I am covered. I am chosen. His smile is your weapon against fear. When your future feels uncertain, you remind your heart, He is already there. He has gone before me. His smile is your weapon against comparison. When you are tempted to measure your journey against another's, you remember, my race is mine. My timing is His. I lack nothing He wants me to have. There will still be days when you feel weak. There will still be moments when the old heaviness tries to rest on your shoulders. Being commissioned does not mean you stop feeling. It means you no longer let your feelings define your calling. On those days, you will return to what has been spoken over you in this journey. The battle is won. The cross is enough. The war behind your life has already been judged in your favor. You will stand up, perhaps slowly, but you will stand. That in itself is warfare. You are not being sent out alone. The same God who smiled over you in private, who held you in hidden years, who defended you when no one knew your name, is the God who now walks beside you into every assignment. Angels are not an idea, they are part of the help you carry. Grace is not a theory, it is the power that will sustain you when your own strength runs short. So receive this. You are commissioned as a carrier of victory, a breaker of cycles, a guard of atmospheres, a living testimony that God still chooses, still heals, still restores. still smiles over imperfect people and turns them into holy weapons of love and truth. Your life is no accident. Your survival is no coincidence. You were always meant to reach this point to stand, crowned in a way the world cannot see, and walk forward, knowing the one who chose you is still smiling. And that smile will be enough for every room, every battle, and every chapter yet to come. Chosen one, if you've made it all the way here, it's not by accident. Something in your spirit refused to click away. Something deep inside you recognized your own story in these words: the battles, the sifts, the hidden seasons, the near ambushes, the crowns. That something is the whisper of God reminding you, you are mine. I am smiling over you, and I am not finished with you yet. You didn't just listen to a script, you walked through a journey. You faced memories. You felt conviction. You tasted hope. You saw your process with new eyes. Heaven has been speaking between the lines, confirming, correcting, comforting, and commissioning you. And now, as this message comes to a close, your next step matters. What will you do with what God has stirred in you? If this word has met you in a real place, I want to gently invite you to respond, not just silently, but tangibly. Take a second to like this, not for numbers' sake, but so it stays in your feed as a marker, a reminder of what God spoke to you in this season. It's easy to forget what touched you once the noise of life returns. That simple like is you telling your future self, this mattered. Come back to this. If you know another warrior, someone exhausted, someone on the edge, someone who keeps asking, God, do you even see me? Consider sharing this with them. You never know which sentence will be the one that stops their spiral. Sometimes heaven uses your simple act of sharing as the very rope that pulls another chosen one back from the cliff. I also want to invite you to comment to mark this moment in your own words. You might write a short, I received this, or share which section spoke to you most, or briefly testify, that was me in section. However you phrase it, your comment becomes more than interaction. It becomes agreement. It is you saying out loud, I hear you, Lord, and I'm responding. Your words may even confirm to someone else that they are not alone in what they're feeling. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing so we can keep walking this road together. This isn't about building an audience. It's about building a space where chosen ones like you are reminded again and again who they are, what they carry, and how deeply God delights in them. There are more battles to unpack, more victories to announce, more chains to break. And I don't want you to miss what heaven will continue to release over your journey. As you close this message, remember, you don't walk away empty-handed. You leave carrying truth, carrying courage, carrying the awareness that the battle is won and the smile of God is over you. Let your like, your share, your comment, and your subscription be small, outward signs of a much bigger inward yes. You are chosen. You are seen. You are smiled over. And this right here is only the beginning.